If you're reading this, then I have died. Either the Royal Guard has finally found me and cut me down, or the ever-free forest has made me food for timber wolves. But I want to leave you with the truth, although my words may mean little for the villain I have likely been made out to be. I won't deny what I did. It was my fault, but I never wanted this. I'm cursed. Since the day I was born, this curse has followed me. How do I know it's been since birth? I was born with my cutie mark, a plate breaking into many pieces. Whatever I touch breaks, my mother being the first to fall victim to my talent, as she died after my birth. Hence why I was born with my cutie mark. I was already performing my special talent before I could even open my eyes for the first time. My talent, breaking anything I touch. Doesn't matter what it is, or was. If I touched it, it broke. Didn't matter if it was just a simple household item or a living creature. It broke. I never had friends growing up because of it. They would all either shun me, afraid that I would break something of theirs, or verbally assault me, calling me hurtful names and poking fun at me. They would never physically hurt me, not after Starseeker tried back in first grade. I remember that day clearly, even after all these years. Starseeker came out calling me the worst names he could. I ignored him, or more accurately, acted like I was ignoring him. I never could truly ignore them as they spoke. This only drove Starseeker to anger, not wanting to be ignored, and he attacked me, bucked me right in the face. I still remember him yelling, "Don't ignore me," at me before hearing the sickening sound of bones breaking as he fell to the ground, yelling in pain. Last I heard, he was still crippled, even after all these years. It's funny, going off what I have said so far, you're probably wondering how I even lived this long, with everything breaking around me. Well, things didn't break all the time, just when it mattered the most. I remember being so excited once because I was able to keep a single plate intact for a whole year. Then it shattered in that same moment of excitement. What I find ironic, though, is that I myself remain unbroken. Not once in my life have I ever broken a bone or had a major injury. Not once have I mentally broken down after taking in the insults of my youth and the realization of my situation as an adult. One would think a pony like me would be depressed or suicidal, though even if I was, I don't think I could actually do it, as the means of killing myself would likely break. Yet I fall asleep each night, looking forward to the next day, and wake up energetically ready to take it on. As for what I have done, well, it started in my search for a job. I couldn't keep one, due to my curse, but I could make enough from a job to at least afford my next meal before moving on. I had been walking from Manhattan to whatever town the road would take me to next. That town was Ponyville. I had arrived in Ponyville, and after seeing how small the town was, I was going to need a miracle to find a quick job to make enough bits for a meal before moving on. That's when it happened. Something I had been trying to avoid since the day Starseeker bucked my back, although this time it was worse than anything before, even worse than my birth, for I broke one of Equestria's greatest defenders. A pink mare came out of the blue and hugged me. I was stunned in the moment. She came out of nowhere and latched onto me. She yelled something along the lines of, "Welcome to our town," but I couldn't focus on the rest. This mare was going to get hurt some way now. I didn't know how or when at the time, but I knew it was going to be my fault when it happened. She broke away from the hug and started to stare at me. Her happiness vanished. She stared at me with sad eyes, but it was what she said. I think it will haunt me for the rest of my life, as it was as if she knew what was going to happen, but found out just a moment too late. But how? "Oh," she said. She fell apart right there and then, and it was horrifying. Her head fell off her body as her muscles and skin started to liquefy. Her limbs did the same as she fell to the ground, and soon she became nothing more than a mess of gore in a bloody puddle. All I could do was watch before screaming. Soon the whole town knew what had happened. A strange new pony had entered the town, and a local was now dead, nothing more than a pile of meat in the middle of the road. I did what any sensible pony would do in that situation. I ran. I ran as a few ponies started giving chase. They were not wrong to blame me. I was the cause. But I didn't do it in cold blood. It was an accident caused by my curse. I have no way to control it. I also didn't want to die. No sane pony wants to die. So I ran. I was almost to the Everfree when I overheard something that still weighs heavy on me. "He killed the element of laughter!" Those words hit me hard. I had heard of the elements of harmony in my travels. What pony hasn't? But that mare couldn't have been one of the element bearers, could she? If she was, then I broke more than just a mere mare that was unlucky enough to touch me. I have destroyed one of Equestria's defenses, a beacon of hope, and showed Equestria's enemies that we can be hurt. The ponies of Ponyville chased me until I entered the Everfree. I have only heard rumors of this place, but if those rumors are true, I will meet my end here. Either the creatures of the forest will get me, or Celestia's soldiers will, after they get word of what has happened. Well, if my curse lets them. Either way, I can't live out there anymore. Might as well make the forest my home until the end finally comes to me.